Addressing the students of Dhaka University at Dhaka, the capital of the then province of East Bengal, in March 1948, the Quaid-e-Azam said,
"Let me make it very clear to you, and leave no doubt, that the state language of Pakistan is going to be Urdu and no other language. And anyone who tries to mislead you is really the enemy of Pakistan."
Assalamu alaikum. You are awake. You are confused. You know, the brain is the physical organ through which the mind manifests itself to a physical world. Fascinates me. But you have inordinately and incessantly exercised your organ, producing a highly injurious consequence. I am Dr. Khan, President of the Pakistani Phrenological Society, also editor of The Nationalist. You have been under my care for some time now. As your doctor, I would advise against standing. You are weak. The lesser breed, that which you are, bears a mute spirit within. This spirit manifests itself as civil disobedience. It casts a constant plague upon your supposedly Islamic visage. Specifically, of your mental faculties, it is eventuality that suffers most in this post-ictal state. You cannot recall historic events, circumstances, who you are, anything at all. Your mind has been overwhelmed, broken by reasoned and rational information. So, how could you possibly begin to imagine how our complex concepts and operations could work? All people learned from the Rowlatt Act, but you simply do not have the capacity. It is somewhat admirable, in the way that one might admire a child, to believe that you could. But with the minds of men on the move, yours has simply stalled. It has stagnated. You have failed to understand that the sciences of truth and religion are simply not the same. It grows ever more apparent to me that the heads of the Bengali illiterate are completely incapable of understanding the business of the state. Your people delight in weakness, insult, difficulty, hardship, sustained and deliberate persecution. Your memory will return in time. Our agreement has been in place for almost a quarter of a century now, and yet you show no allegiance here. You never have. The only allegiance you show is to the stink of precious Dhaka. physicality is once again entirely absent. This loathsome cycle continues, night after night, and a series of events, events that have absolutely nothing to do with me, cause you to fall to the floor. The shaking will begin. Don't your muscles ache? From my time with you, I have been able to discern that an accident with a lathi has had a lasting impact upon the faculty of concentrativeness. But concentrativeness should have been better cultivated from a young age. It is this innate disregard, neglect, disrespect that must be the fault of the impoverished Bengali composition and its so-called culture. You primitive people, you exhibit all the inhibitions of the downtrodden races, and yet you have clearly not found it possible to psychologically adjust to the requirements of your newborn freedom. A quarter of a century, and you continue to float downstream like a sickly fish in the Ganga. You must swim upstream. My studies were to produce results specific to your neuropsychological condition. But after months of intensive work, I can only conclude that the flaw is entirely genetic. Direct examination of the brain is my final solution. You demonstrate such little propensity for ferocity. A decapitation in the post-ictal state will make a simple task even simpler. Any destructiveness within you is vastly depleted. I will divide your body before you dare to divide my glorious Pakistan. Submit, and order shall be restored. Pakistan Zindabad!
This slightly blurry amateur videotape, which has been kept hidden for the past 9 months, shows Pakistani soldiers executing students, professors, and workers at the University of Dhaka last March 26th. The first sequence shows Pakistani soldiers forcing students to carry and pile up the bodies of victims already killed. The tape was made secretly by a professor of engineering on a portable tape machine hidden on the roof of a building about 300 yards from the killings. A Pakistani execution squad lined up slightly to the right of the center of the screen. About 20 people were herded onto the killing ground from the right corner of the picture. One man, dressed in black, dropped to his knees and begged for mercy. The Pakistani soldiers opened fire. One man was left standing after the first barrage. He was finally killed by the Pakistani soldiers seen with a rifle. Then the Pakistanis went among the bodies, shooting close up to make sure their victims were dead. This is just one small episode of the Pakistani massacre. The killings were the beginning of a reign of terror by Pakistan, which set off a revolt by the Bengalis and ended in the liberation of Bangladesh. Ron Nesson, NBC News, Dhaka.